Welcome back, folks. Thank you. Fantastic. Fantastic to see most of you people back here. This is like amazing. Well, I mentioned before we'd have David Colister back up. Thanks to his marketing strategies, we're about to set this world on fire. And this humble exercise, this fun exercise, is a fantastic way to help you see the potential for yourself. So I'd like to welcome back David Colister. Thank you so much, David.
Meeting many of you. Thank you for putting up with me. They never know what they're going to get when I step up here today. I mean, some of you have been with me for like, I don't know, 10 or 15 days, something, and I never know what I'm going to say when I get up there, but I do have fun. So thank you for letting me have fun. I appreciate that permission. This exercise I learned probably 30 years ago, and I've been adapting it for the last 30 years. And really, it's called the 2-minute warning. So I don't know, forgive me, I don't understand Australia rules football, but the guys look a lot tougher. Not as smart because they don't wear helmets or anything. But you know, you gotta appreciate the fight in them. I love that. So, but I don't know the rules much, but at least in most American sports, we have what we call a 2-minute warning. It's usually at the end of a period. And a lot of times, like in American rules football, that last 2 minutes is really the most important of the game. Everybody says, okay, this game's just about over. We're either going to make it or break it. We're going to win or we're going to lose here. And they put everything they've got into that last 2 minutes. And that's really where games are won and lost, oftentimes. So this was kind of named after that because, I'll be honest with you, network marketing isn't for everybody. And maybe you expected me to say, you know, it's for everybody, it's for you, you should do this. I don't know if you should do this or not. Who can tell if it's right for you and going to work for you? I don't know. I'd rather tell you that it's going to be a lot harder than say, oh, it's going to be easy. I would rather say it's work. I would rather tell you that this business would be easy if it weren't for the people that you have to work with. Because people, anybody have kids? And I'm sure all of you have figured out a way to get them to do everything that you want them to do at the same time. Network marketing is like that. Somebody said it's like herding cats, right? So you get 100 cats and you want to get them to go a certain direction. Can you imagine trying to herd cats, what that would be like? That's kind of network marketing. So I don't want to say that it's easy. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's hard because you're dealing with people. But I'll tell you, the greatest benefit of doing this business is the people. That's what I've spent my life is learning from people. I promise the people in our boot camp, I'm going to learn more from them than they learn from me. And I'm pretty dedicated to that because I know that everybody brings a treasure to the table with them. And so this little exercise is really developed to help people understand if this is a fit for them or not. And quite honestly, for some people, it shows them this is not right for you. And wouldn't it be better to know that up front than to have you spend a lot of time, maybe money? We don't have a certain price. We don't say you have to get in for X amount of dollars. It's whatever you want to do and whatever's right for you. Some plans work better than others. But we do want to make sure that this is a fit for you so that you don't waste your time. And we also don't want to waste the time of our leaders that are going to dedicate a lot of time to people. And we really do dedicate a lot of time to people, don't we?
Yes.
I mean, we just give it everything we've got every time to the people that are there. And so this is just a great way to help people understand if this might be a fit for them. It's not perfect. It's not going to absolutely tell you. But it's going to tell you whether you've got a real high probability for success or a low probability or somewhere in between. It's really quite simple. This is a business of who you attract to yourself in life. So what I'm going to ask you to do is write down first name and last initial only. This is not, we're not going to take this list and run with it. We've got phone books if we wanted to do something like that. This list is really to help us identify the kind of people that you attract to yourself in life. And based upon some of those things, we can say, you know what, there might be a fit for you here. And we might be able to say, you've got a real high probability for success. So, and it doesn't take long. So if you have a pen, who does not have a pen to write with, or a pencil or something? Could somebody please get them something to write with? I don't have any. Yes, if our guests don't have one, and which of our guests do not have a pen? Could one of our members maybe lend them a pen? We've got a bunch of pens there. Thank you, Steve. Those are the biggest pens I think I've ever seen in a meeting.
Oh my goodness.
Anyone else?
Do they have to go back?
They probably need them back, right? That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Thank you. We call him Father Time because he's always, for the last week, he's been holding up the time signs for us. You know, keeping people like me on track. I'm one of those cats. It's hard to herd. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention some categories of names. And I'm just going to keep going. If I was doing this one-on-one, I'd watch your pen, and when you started to slow down, I'd give you another category. Since we have so many people in here, I can't see everybody's pen. And please, all of our members do this too. This is something out here, if you've done it 20 times, do it again. It really helps. And so I'm going to give you categories, but listen, this is really important. I'm probably going to add a category before you're done with one category. And if you've got a category where you just keep having a lot of names, stay with that category. You don't have to move forward with me. I'm just going to keep throwing them out there just so everybody has a category that might fit them. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to ask you some questions about them, and you'll circle some of those little letters next to the name there. And then I can tell you why those things matter. Okay, so I'm only going to give you a couple minutes. Stephen, do you have your watch or
Yeah, I got it.
Could I borrow it, please? Thank you. Okay, perfect. All right, so the first category, and listen, it doesn't matter. We don't want you to write down the names of people that you think might like to do Life Force. These people may never want to do Life Force. If I say a category and somebody that's passed on to the other side is on it, write their name down. We're not going to try to sell these people Life Force. That's not what this is about. It's what kind of people do you attract to yourself, and then we can kind of get a gauge to know if this might work for you or might not work for you, okay? So the first category on your mark, get set, go, is people that you know on your mother's side of the family. Aunts and uncles, cousins, maybe your mother's friends growing up. When you think of your mother, who do you think of? Who are the people that are surrounding her? And when that list begins to slow down, go to your father's side of the family. Cousins, aunts, uncles, your father's friends. People that he possibly worked with. People that come to mind when you think of your dad. Then I want you to put down people that you know that are medical practitioners. Your doctors, you know, your children have doctors, you have a doctor, you have a dentist, maybe a chiropractor, maybe a nutritionist, or a naturopath, a therapist. Anybody you think of that's a health practitioner. And if you don't know their name, just say, you know, the tall journey therapist with red hair. I don't know, just describe her so you remember. Last initials there to help you remember Susie Q from Susie M. So you have some idea. If you put the last initial, that's helpful. And then after that, people that are involved in business, like people that possibly own their own businesses, possibly they're an executive at a company. The reason why we put this down, the fastest growing demographic in network marketing today, there's 91.5 million people involved in network marketing. The fastest growing demographic are business professionals. They're tired of the rat race. It's destroyed their families and their lives in many cases. And they don't see an end in sight. They don't have freedom, and they're joining Life Force like we've never seen before. So they make great network marketers. Medical practitioners, I brought them up because quite simply, they get it. They understand our products, and they understand obesity, and they understand that this is a great way to help change lives. After you think of the people that you know who are in business, I'd like you to think about the people that you've worked with at your current job. Who comes to mind? Again, you may not ever talk to them about Life Force, but put down the names of the people that you work with currently. Your boss, your coworkers, maybe the delivery person, And then go to your previous job, your previous place of employment. And write down the people that you remember there that you like, people that come to mind. I'm just going to keep sharing categories. You don't have to shift with me. Keep going on one if you've got a lot of names coming to mind. But who do you know that's really into sports? Coaches. Maybe your children's soccer coach or swim coach. Maybe somebody you know that's a professional athlete or somebody that works out a lot, constantly training, very fitness oriented. They absolutely get this product, and you want to see people get cut, get them on the B-Lean. They are getting people that work out a lot and don't have a lot of fat to lose. They take it to get cut, and they're seeing those kinds of results. People that you know love to exercise. Who comes to mind when you think of jogging, running? Then after that, maybe there's a spiritual dimension to your life. Maybe you practice yoga, or maybe you belong to a church or synagogue. Possibly you belong to a place of worship, or maybe you're a part of a group of people that think like you think and worship like you worship. And who comes to mind when you think of those types of environments? Who sold you your cars? Maybe you can't remember their names, but you can remember which dealership they worked at. Maybe you remember what he or she looked like. Who sells you your life insurance? Who sells you your car insurance? Who's your accountant? Your financial planner? Who do you know that's in real estate? Who's your pharmacist? Do you have a pharmacist? Maybe you don't know his or her name, but you go to the same store, you get your medicine there, and you always say hi, and you recognize each other. Just say the blonde pharmacist at this whatever store. You can describe them. I'm going to give you just a little bit more time here. I want you to think about people that are very active in volunteer work. They're the kind of people that just love to serve. They're always doing something to help people, to care about people, and they dedicate their lives to doing things possibly for their children's school, or possibly, for the local parks, or maybe they're involved in some sort of civic organization. And then one last group, who do you know that's approaching retirement age or is in retirement? A lot of people are outliving their retirement, and they're very nervous. They're not going to let you know that, but the idea of retiring seems very scary to a lot of people in this economy. So prices are going up and their wages aren't. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop. I want to give you a bonus round. Anybody have one of these? If you want to pull it out, I'll give you 1 minute to pull it out and write down the first name, last initial of anybody over the age of 18. And so 1 minute, so go quickly. And the average, by the way, is about, for the last 30 years, has been about 15 on a list. The record, I think, in Life Force is, I want to say 100 and, what is it, 104. 104. So that's impressive. So I don't know where you're at, but you might want to beat that. Okay, 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, stop. Great. Now listen, this is just an 8 minutes. This isn't an exhaustive list. I know if you took any kind of time, you could come up with a lot more. Thank you, Stephen. So now you'll notice to the left. Can I see? Let me grab this up even here. To the left or to the right, I guess, their names are identifiers. Very quickly go through the list. If they're married, circle an M. And the reason why we ask you to do that is 2 heads are better than 1. Now listen, a lot of single people have done very well in Life Force, and we don't discriminate. But I got to tell you, if you got 2 people working together, one's usually more outgoing, one's more maybe a business person, and they're going to keep track of paperwork like I wouldn't do, and then, you know, that kind of thing. So two heads often are better than one in business, and couples often have common goals, and they understand each other's financial challenges, and they know what extra money would do, whether it's an extra $1,000 a month or an extra $10,000 a month or going full-time, whatever. They know what that would mean to them. The K stands for kids. Circle the K if they have children or grandchildren living with them. You know, one of the reasons why we look for that in people is because people who have children or grandchildren, they have those little eyes looking at them, and they always have motivation to do more, don't they, Cliff? You said you just can't wait to get out of these trainings to go see your son, and I feel the same way. I want to get back to the U.S., I want to go see my kids. And there's always something about kids, you know you could do a lot more for them, and you want them to have a little bit better life than you had, maybe go to a little better college than you went to, and always something. They need braces or whatever they need. There's always something that kids need, and you want to give them that edge. So people with children at home, especially your grandchildren living with them, they have that motivation. The dollar sign means they're gainfully employed. They have work. They've got money. You know, I love to say that you could do this business and you could start with nothing, and we have plenty of stories of people that were homeless and got involved in this company and other companies, and they've done real well. But listen, the fact of the matter is that sometimes it takes money to make money, right? Some people may not want to wait for their products, and you want to get them their products today, not in a week when it's delivered by the company. So sometimes, you know, people find that if they have a little bit of inventory there, they can move faster and they have much better success. So it's helpful if they have money to work with. They're coming to trainings and traveling. We have a lot of fun when we do these things, but they're not, it costs money to stay in hotels and travel. So it's great if they're employed. The B stands for business professional. That means either they work for a company as an executive or a mid to high level manager, or they own their own business. Possibly this would include doctors, medical practitioners. A lot of them are self-employed. And then the H stands for a home. If somebody owns a home, who doesn't have a home that could use a little bit of something else done to it, right? And homeowners always feel the pinch for more money with their homes. And so the H is for homeowners. So very quickly, just go through and mark all the names that you had. Okay. So how many of you had at least 10 names? Please raise your hand and hold it up high. 10 names. Wow, fantastic. How many of you had at least 15? Okay, so 15 is the national average in the U.S. I don't know what it is over here. How many of you had 20 or more? Please. Wow. 25. 30. 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 50. I don't know how to do that, but it sounded good for a second. How many of you had, shout out what you had. If you had more than 30. How many? 36. 36, Demi, way to go. 43. 43. Who said 43? Wow, way to go. 52. 53. Shout it out. 53? 53, really? 56. Who said that? 56. Wow. Who else? 72. 72. Wow, that might be an Australian record. I don't know. Is that an Australian record, guys?
Close.
Close? Who else? How many? Come on, let's see. Here are the numbers. Okay, listen. I don't know how many people on this list are going to do this business, but if they have 2 or more checks next to their name, they fall into the category of people that are probably looking for some way to make extra money. Now, I'm not saying they're going to say it's Life Force, right? Because Life Force isn't a fit for everybody. But they're probably people that are going, I need some more money. A lot of them probably fall into the category, as most adults in this country and in the U.S., our data is pretty similar in terms of the obesity. A lot of them probably are looking at, they're thinking, they woke up today thinking, I need to do something about this stuff hanging out over my belt. And they're looking for something, and they will probably in the next month or 2 buy something. Now they can either buy it from the big store, the big rich people that already get all the money, or they can get it from you. That's your choice. I encourage you to be the one to give it to them, 1, because you make a little bit of money, but 2, you can help them stay on it. In fact, the data tells us that the people that want to lose weight are tired of going to the big places to get their stuff. They want to do it from home, but they want some coaching and support, personalized support, and that's what we provide people. So you are a better person to help them lose the weight than some of these other places that they pay memberships to and they never go. Anybody ever join a gym and then not go very much? That's me. I always forget to go. So, how convenient, right? And so if they have 2 or more names and you've got just a handful of those people, there's a good chance one of those people will either want to join LifeForce or would consider joining LifeForce as a way of creating extra revenue, or they might be interested in some of our products. Again, I can't make you any promises. I'm not going to hype you and tell you it's going to, everybody on your list is going to do it. But I can tell you this, for those of you that had 10 or more, this is what my experience tells me. There's a very high probability if you have 10 or more people that have a couple of marks next to their name, there's a very high probability that one of them will end up saying, if it's presented properly, one of them will say, I want to join LifeForce. Does that sound about right here in Australia, Market Cliff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
If you had 20 or 30 or 40 or 50, there's a very high probability that there's a few people on that list that might say yes. Not everybody that joins LifeForce makes Michael Jude or Cliff or Savannah or Manfred's kind of money, right? I'm not going to say that. But what would an extra $500 a month do for the average family in this area? Would it maybe help save for retirement? Maybe it'll help get them a new car instead of another beater, right? Maybe it'll help them take a little bit better vacation. If a family put $500 a month, Vera, you talked about going to the hotel and their entertainment was sitting in the pool. What would $500 a month going into the family's vacation fund, $6,000 at the end of the year, do for most families? Family vacation time. Probably be a little different experience, wouldn't it, for the family? A little bit of money can make a big difference. The average person in the U.S. that's facing losing their home, $500 will fix it. $500 a month and they can keep their home. We've had millions of people lose their homes. So I will tell you this, if you have 20 people on your list that have a couple of marks, I can't tell you that you're going to find somebody that's really going to go for it, like a Zavon or Chris or Dr. Derek or some of these people. But I can also tell you this, you can't prove to me that they won't. Michael, you make a lot of money. You make more money in a month than most people. I don't want to say in this room because I don't know this room's income, but you make more money in the month than most people make in a year, right? How many people that really get it, I'm not talking about just join and don't go to work, but how many, we call them legs, 3 personally sponsored people. How many people does it take to hit the top of the pay plan if they get it and they really go for it? What's the magic number?
Magic number is 3.
3. Now you might have to sponsor 300 to get 3 that get it. I don't know. Maybe that depends on your group of people and how you present. But if you have 1 or 2 or 3 people on that list that decide to run with this thing and ride this wave as you described, I love that analogy. If they ride this wave with us over the next year, and you have 1 person on that list or 2 people on that list that ride that wave with you, your life has changed. You got an entirely different life. I don't know if you've seen, I met Stephen back there, you were a part of a company, you walked in and you saw thousands of people in an auditorium in Brisbane, right, was it? How many people were there? Do you remember, Glenn? 10,000 people. Well, I was talking to them, and when do you buy a stock? When it's already peaked? If you do, you're a sucker. Network marketing, looks good to join those parties with the company's already big and doing well. It's a great party. But the people that join at that time, quite honestly, are kind of the suckers. They've been conned into thinking that that's going to keep happening, that kind of growth. And it doesn't really work like that. Most of those companies are just sustaining. They're with the new people that join, they just kind of sustain, hopefully. We're in a fast growth phase right now. The numbers prove it. This is working. This company is blowing up. These products are blowing up. And if just one or two of those people on this little list decides to do this thing in a year, your life is going to be completely different. And I've seen it happen over and over again. Somebody asked me, David, how many people have you helped become millionaires? I can't even count them, not because the number's so high. It's because I can't keep track of them all. When you get a part of a company that's just at the beginning of its sweet spot, that time when it really took us 30 years to get a sweet spot, Cliff. But that shows sustainability, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
We have staying power. This company's not going anywhere like some of these fly-by-night things. If you get just one or two or three people that get it and run with this thing, I'm telling you, I've watched it over and over again, and you dig in and you become a part of these boot camps or these one-day things where you learn how to really do this well and you go for it, man, your life a year from now will just be completely different. And if you could see through my eyes, you would know that I can't tell what those people look like. Sometimes the millionaire is a dud. Sometimes the millionaire does great. Sometimes it's the janitor that does well, right? And sometimes not. I can't tell by what you look like. We don't ask for resumes. We're not looking to see what you've done in your past. We don't care what you did yesterday. All we care about is what you're going to do today and tomorrow. We're willing to walk beside you, right? But just a couple of people on that list saying yes over this next year, if they run with us, if they run with this pack, if you want to call it, their lives are going to be different. So here's what I encourage you to do. Talk with the person that invited you about those people. It doesn't cost you anything to find out if a couple of people on that list might make it. Now you might say, I'm ready to go right now, but you might say, I'm not sure, right? And I'm sure the person that invited you would be happy to help you figure out if some of those people might be ready to buy products from your business or maybe join your business. So thank you very much for your time, Cliff. You want to come up and close this out? Thank you very much for